Hey, this is Commander Bacon with His Way Homestead, and I'm under the truck. Stay tuned. All right, so quick little thing with diesel trucks. You got to change the fuel filters every 15,000 miles. So it's time for this truck to get its fuel filters changed. So I'm underneath of it right now, and I'll show you here in a second what I'm doing. Just for record's sake, this is a 2013 Dodge Ram 2500 with the 6.7 liter diesel Cummins diesel engine. So there is a fuel filter near the fuel tank, and then there's another fuel filter that's up close to the engine compartment. Well, it's in the engine compartment. So let me turn the camera around. I'll show you what I'm doing. Stay tuned. This is fun. All right, so this is a fuel filter. I don't know if you can see it good. Right here, this is a 3/8 ID clear vinyl hose. It fits up here on this little end piece. This is a sensor. And what we'll be doing is we'll take this whole sensor off, and then we'll take the filter off. We'll replace the filter, put the sensor back in, and connect the pigtail for it. So got this hose long enough that it can drain down into a milk jug. Sorry for the horrible camera work, but you can see the diesel fuel in the bottom of the milk jug. I think it's about all drained out. It looks like it's drained out. So I won't be able to do this at the same time as filming. But let me show you. There's a special wrench to take that sensor off. So you need that. So take that off. There are some O-rings that need to be oiled up. You just use regular engine oil to lubricate them before you put this filter back on. This is the first part of changing the fuel filters on a Dodge Ram with the Cummins diesel. Stay tuned. So here's the fuel filter that I use for the rear. This is a Fleet Guard FS20089. It's fuel water separator. Here's what it looks like. It gives you nice, simple instructions. 1, oil it up. I say fill it with diesel. Never really done that. There you go. That's all it is to it. That's what we're gonna do. Stay tuned. All right, so open it up and you can see there's the 2 O-rings. One goes at the top right there. The other one will go in here, and it'll be the it'll actually go around that sensor, right? So we got to lube these up and install them. Take the other one off. It's still on it. What I've found before is when you crack that seal at the top, usually there's a little bit of fuel that comes out because you broke the vacuum with it. So I still have the hose and everything connected, still have the sensor connected. I just want to crack that. So stay tuned. All right, so here's the filter. I had to use one of these tools to loosen it up, and once I did crack it, it did dump a bunch more fuel. So we're letting it drain some more and hopefully be able to take this off. Right now it's finger loose. It's just, you can see, it's just finger tight. I can take it off, but that's kind of where we're at. So we'll have this off in no time. Stay tuned. All right, so here's the little O-ring I was showing you that comes with the kit. You just have to, you don't want to use a screwdriver or anything because you'll damage the threads. So you just take that off and throw it away. You don't need it. Take this one, and we're gonna get a little oil on my finger and lube it up. All right, take it and you just put it back on. Easy peasy. And you take your new filter and screw this whole assembly in it. And it's kind of pain with that little pigtail because it wants to keep unrolling it. That's about all you need to do with that. If you hand me that rag. Right there, yep. We had mystery rags going on. Put a rag down and it disappears. I'm kind of doing some crazy stuff. All right, I like to keep my filters clean as I put them on. So you can see this one that says put the oil on the sensor. Next step, put the sensor on the filter. Then you're supposed to fill it with diesel fuel. And don't know if I want to do that. So here's the little knob. You turn it counterclockwise to open it up to dump the fuel out of it, and you turn it clockwise to shut that off. You don't want to leave the hose on it. You want to take that off. So that's just a tool when you're changing the filters. All right, I already lubed that up. I might take the fuel that came out of the old filter and put it in there. You know, if they recommend putting fuel in it, that'd be the best thing to do. I'm gonna crawl back under here, and it also says, so you're gonna hand tighten it, and that's that's for the sensor. And then when you do the final hand tightening for the filter, you're gonna give it another half a turn. And there's no way to put a wrench on it. If you use that wrench that I showed you a while ago, you'll damage the filter, the housing of it, and I don't want to do that. So we're not going to damage the housing of it. It's a piece of grass. Don't need that in there. And there it is there, trying to get back on. All right, I might put a little bit more oil on the top of this. Let's give this a good coat of oil. That should do it. Now we're gonna get back underneath, fill this up with fuel, and install it. Yay. All right, never done this before. I'm usually sloppy with the fuel, so just fill it up. Since it came out of it, should go back in it. Now you gotta be really careful. And try to figure out the best way to get up through there without snagging your shirt on the creeper. It does not feel like it's threading on there. It feels like you're not recording, are you? Gotta shut it off. Then you record. All right, got that on there. I'm gonna tighten up this guy. Just give it a little. That should be good. Hook it up to the harness. Ooh, the harness has a little clip. Up here, hopefully I can get it on it. There we go. All right. There we go. Rear fuel filter. I'm upside down. Rear fuel filter is installed. Now off to the front fuel filter. All right, this is the area we got to go to right there. See that little yellow thing? That's what opens the valve to drain the canister for the fuel filter. That's right there. Okay, so I'm replacing the hose that I had attached because I wanted a longer hose. So here's the new hose. I just shoved it up in there, but directly underneath that cap is where the old hose is connected. So I'm gonna, and this is a 1/2 inch ID hose, so it's much bigger. So that's what I'm gonna do. Not gonna show it, but I want you to see what I'm doing. And then once we get that, then this cap comes off, and I'll show you the tools required to do that. And then all you do is pull the old canister filter out and drop a new one in, seal that bad boy back up. All right, stay tuned. There's the little yellow gizmo. What I found is you can put a Phillips screwdriver in there. You can't really see, and you're going to turn it counterclockwise. And it's just like a quarter turn is all it should be. But now you can see that hose too. Let me see if I can get in there closer. There's the hose that are connected. See that? See that right there? All right. I just got to check, make sure the milk jug doesn't get knocked over and that it is flowing out. So stay tuned. All right, so while the diesel is flowing out, I want to show you the tools that you need to take the cap off. 28mm socket, okay? 6-point would be better than this 12-point, but that's all they had, because that's a big mamba jamba. So then I've got a, what do I got? I got a knuckle here, 3/4 inch knuckle. I got an extension, and I've got another extension, and it takes all of it. So let's see if I can show you. I'll take it off the ratchet and try to work it through there, show you exactly what you got to do. So you're gonna coming down through here, sneak it past there. It's really hard to do with one hand because of that knuckle. Okay. Dropped it down through there. Okay, so here's the cap. I got it broke loose. It's gonna come off. And everything's really tight in here. So there's what it looks like. And there should be an O-ring at the top of that thread. And we're gonna replace that O-ring too. This wiring harness can get lifted up out of the way. All right, so now you can see that yellowish white, that is the canister. We're gonna be replacing that. And take that little O-ring that's off of there, replace that. So that's all it is. So we'll get working on that. Stay tuned. All right, so now we got the new O-ring lubed up. Just gonna drop it over the threaded area and roll it down to the bottom. Make sure it's the whole way down, all the way around. Okay, so now we're gonna pull this canister out. It's kind of snug. You're gonna hear it draining some fuel out of it. We'll let it drain. All right. All right, so let's take a look at this. See, it's got an oblong thing shape in there, and that fits tight onto a piece in the bottom of that canister. All right, so here's the new filter. This is a Mopar filter. I usually like the Fleet Guard better, but I couldn't get a Fleet Guard until November, and this is the first part of October, and I really needed to do this, so I couldn't wait till November. So we're going to take this apart and install it. Stay tuned. All right, here's the new filter. You can see how it's elongated. Try not to touch the paper, and we're going to shove that down in there, and it's going to be a tight fit, and you got to really push it hard. So let's take a look down in here. And it's even really hard to see. So you got a post that you got to go over. Let me see if I can shine the light on there better. All right, can you see that? Everything's focusing weird. Oh well. You get the idea. You got to go over that post with it, and that's how it goes. And you'll feel it as you shove it down in there. It's tight, okay, and you just kind of, you can rotate it, and there it went. There. Okay. Now we're going to put the cap on it, and this is a torque specified tightening. So we're going to, and it is kind of hard to get it started, but it seemed like that was really easy. And it's got finger knurls, so you can get it started. Now I got to go get my torque wrench, and it is 30.5 Newton meters torque. That's the setting. It says it right here, 30.5 Newton meters. Let me get the torque wrench, and we'll get that thing tightened up, and we'll be ready to go through the initial startup process, which is tricky. Not tricky, but just you got to do things right. Stay tuned. All right, here's my torque meter. I don't know if it'll focus on it. This is the side that says Newton meters. And then there's foot pounds. Okay. So we went on Newton meters. And you can see that line is 30.5. The 0 is right on the line at that, so it is 30.5. So we're going to torque this up, see how it goes. All right, so you can see the socket is on the cap, and I can't record this and torque it at the same time, but if you know what a torque wrench sounds like, this mechanical one, it will click when it reaches its torque limit. So that's what we're going to do. Not going to show it. Hey, you know what a torque wrench is all about. You guys got this. Stay tuned. All right, so here's the parts I normally use. This is the canister filter that goes in the engine compartment. It's a Fleet Guard FS 53000. And then this is the rear that goes by the fuel tank. It's the fuel water separator filter, and it's FS 20089, made by Fleet Guard. What I typically do is I keep all my tools for this specific job together. So I've got, this is the wrench for the sensor on the fuel separator. I've got the socket and the universal joint for the canister cap. And now this is used on the oil filter too as well. So just wanted to show you, I just kind of like to keep specialized tools like that together because I'm going to need them. So whenever I change a fuel filter, I grab a box like that and I have everything I need. So now we got everything done. Let's go ahead and crank up the truck with the special sequence that you have to go through. It's not that complicated, but you do need to do it right. Stay tuned. All right, so it says you go to put it in the starter position for 1 second, let it run for 1 second, and then put it to the run position, and then run through that process twice. So, okay, so there's the run, and you can hear the fuel pump. Everything's kicking on. I'm gonna hit the start here in a second. All right, we're gonna hit the start, run it for a second. Okay, And that's what happens. It kind of stops. So we're going to do it again. All right, that should do it. Very cool. So now we'll come up here and you have to use these controls to change. We'll go up here to the settings for the fuel. See where we were at 565 or 568 gallons that we used. 13,984, 6% left. So we're gonna reset that. The way you reset it is you hit the right arrow button and it says confirm reset. Scroll down to OK and then hit the right arrow button again. Now we're at 100% fuel filter life. That kicked the that didn't 100% redo it. Let's do it again. So it should have changed the mileage on it, but it didn't. All right, we'll shut it off and see what happens. All right, we shut it clear off and turned it back to the run position, and you can see it says 0 miles, 100% fuel filter life, and 0 fuel used. Okay, so that's how it works. Pretty easy. So it took a lot longer than normal, mostly because I was trying to video it for this, but it was hot, and like I said, I had to run into town and get hoses that fit it. Reran that one hose, made it longer. Everything's good. I think it's job well done. So don't be afraid to try stuff. Changing fuel filters on these trucks is pretty straightforward, a little messy. Make sure your bucket doesn't have a hole in the bottom of it. Mine did. But anyway, it's all good, and we'll end up having, you know, I showed you how to change the oil filter already, so go back and look at that video if you want. I love these Dodge Rams with the Cummins diesel. I don't think I'd ever buy another truck ever. This is my truck brand, and Cummins diesel is my truck for life. So all right, here's another thing I recommend. I'm going to go inside. Since I just changed the fuel filters, I'm going to go ahead and order another set of fuel filters for the next time. Like I said, that one canister filter, I placed an order in September, and they said they weren't going to be available till November. So you don't want to get caught without filters, and you need filters. So go ahead and get them ahead of time. When you install them, go ahead and get new ones. So that makes it easier. And then you have them on hand, and whenever you need it, you just do it. Easy peasy. Hope you all enjoyed this, and if you don't mind, hit the like button, and if you're not a subscriber already, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell so that you get notifications every time we upload a new video, because you don't want to miss this stuff. And also, if you want to support our channel, you can always become a member. Hit the join button. There's 3 different levels of membership, and periodically I send out members only videos, and you know, it's what we do. Appreciate all our members and all the support that they give us. It really makes a big difference. And the big thing I want you to keep in mind, don't forget, around here we do things His way, God's way. So we say His way, is the best way. Psalm 18:30. Go look it up. It's a good verse. We'll talk to you next time. God bless.